Hello there, welcome back. I'm Gainy Titan here, and I want to talk about Fort Triumph. I haven't spoken about Fort Triumph for quite some time. I think it's last September was the last video I did. I completed the playthrough. So Fort Triumph was a game, if you've just dropped in or tuned in or joined my channel in recent times, that I came across last summer, and I have a playlist link in the video description of the previous playthrough, and I had some comments to make which caused a bit of a kerfuffle and quite a bit of discussion on both my website, both the YouTube channel, and in the forum discussions on the Steam forums for Triumph. So as I was saying, what was it really? It was essentially a role-playing game with a turn-based tactical combat system very similar to what you experience in the modern XCOM games. So you have units in your party, 4 units initially with 2 action points, and they could move or attack in the action points. Some attacks cost 1 action point, most attacks cost basically whatever action points you had left. So if you attacked, you frequently couldn't move, but you could usually move and attack. The big difference in the tactical combat system comparison to XCOM is that the units weren't dependent so much on their own power. There was an awful lot of reliance, or you would have to rely actually quite a lot, especially given some of the units were melee units, on the terrain, on interaction with the terrain. So there was a lot of breakables, rocks, stuff you could push around, move, and change the battlefield and use it to generate stunning attacks and various effects on the enemies, so as to compensate for the fact that you were quite frequently completely overmatched in the action economy, because there would be a lot more bad guys than there were you, and they had the same actions as each of the bad guys had the same actions as each of your characters, but you were sometimes very, very heavily outnumbered. There's enough happening in Fort Triumph at the moment that I thought it was worth revisiting it and talking about it a little bit more. Bear in mind that this game is a work in progress that has had some major strategic changes in terms of the direction it's been taking, or at least the direction aspects of the game have been taken. Currently the story mode is disabled, so if you go on and you buy the game as early access on Steam, you won't get access to the story mode and the prologue, as far as I know. I'm not sure about the prologue, but you certainly won't get access to the general story mode campaign. That is disabled. They'll have a skirmish mode, which is essentially the RTS strategic map, world map, as a turn-based kind of strategic resource gathering game where you can conquer hubs and areas. I'll go into this in more detail shortly. And you then use the resources that you gather to improve your combat capability, improve the ability of your units individually by earning experience, and of the formations, the teams, the squads that you're deploying, you improve their capacity by essentially spending resources, magic essentially, which is the currency of the game, to improve the capacity of the squads, both in terms of what the individual people can access in terms of inventory slots or health, or the numbers of units that you can have, heroes and otherwise, in the individual squads. So I'm going to freeze the action here a bit and just talk through the different things that you're looking at. You start out with 2 parties with 2 characters each, which is essentially what you have here at the starting scenario. So we have one party is the banner there at the center of the map, and the other party's down there on the bottom left-hand corner of the map, because I've moved it there. The central building beside the party at the center of the map is your starting hub. You control that hub, and it allows you access to units, heroes, and upgrades. The various encounters, so the magic pools will give you resources, magic, which is essentially your currency. And the currency allows you to upgrade technology. So you can upgrade your parties, you can give them more health, more armor, better offense, more members in the party, more inventory slots. And there are multiple levels of upgrades. So there's usually 2 levels of upgrade at the moment. So at the moment, the party could have 2 members and a regular unit. A regular unit could be, depending on what faction you start out as, it could be a goblin archer, goblin scout, so on and so forth, or spiderlings, siege spiders, and various other things, different kinds of humans as well. The critters on the map that you're looking at there are encounters, and generally those encounters are guarding resources. So, for instance, the spider beside the 2 magic pools and the armor is guarding that armor and the 2 magic pools. You can't get at them without fighting the spider. The other goblin standing in front of the tent with a banner is guarding a house, essentially, that generates some type of goblin, probably. The other spider up there by the magic and the crystal is guarding a magic pool and a crystal that will generate 1 magic per day. The tent is a straight resource boost. The skeleton over by the cage will actually generate a hero, a free hero, or you can kill the hero for health. And so on. So these are the kind of resources on the map, and you can go around. And there are other hubs as well, besides the one that you control. There are neutral hubs. The more hubs and buildings you control, the more units you can add to your pool. Now, you can generally add as many units as slots, but heroes are generally better than units. Heroes are more flexible, and heroes level up, whereas the units don't. They have whatever starting abilities they have. Some are better than others, but you could actually have a party with no heroes in it. You can create extra parties, just spend 4 magic to create a party, and you could have a party with no heroes in it. You could actually march a party around and use it to reinforce your existing parties. New heroes are recruited at base level without any experience. They just have the basic attacks and maneuvers that they have normally. So experienced party members, or actually experienced heroes, are really, really valuable. There are certain combats that you simply will not win with regular units or basic level heroes. You need pretty high level heroes to actually have a chance of overcoming some of the encounters. The enemy has the same starting setup. They'll have a hub, they'll have an area around them to explore, and the enemy is the AI, and it will go around exploring areas. Usually the different areas have terrain bottlenecks to go from one to the next, and usually those bottlenecks are guarded. Bridges in particular tend to be guarded. Overall, I really like the skirmish mode as a game mode. I think it works really well. I think it obviously needs tweaking, balancing. It probably needs to be looked at. There are some UI issues. There's a few things that I've spotted that are, I think, might not be working correctly, but I think it's pretty polished and it's pretty good. And I have no particular problem with the basic idea of it as a sort of a separate game mode, except maybe with the name Skirmish. How it integrates with the campaign or the story mode, I don't know. That remains to be seen. I know Guy keeps saying that one of his inspirations is Heroes of Might and Magic, and I have actually bought Heroes of Might and Magic, Guy. I just need to actually sit down now and play it, so that I'll know what you're talking about the next time we're butting heads over something or other, and you're trying to explain to me, and that I haven't had this sort of basic experience of this particular game. So I'm going to get around to it, and I probably will try and play it before I comment further on For Triumph. But I thought that it was worth having a look at it again. I am quite enamoured, I think, of some of the developments that have happened. And I look forward to how this game is going to develop further. I really am looking forward to how the story mode, the campaign mode, evolves from the current setup. I will emphasise once again that this is very much a work in progress, and this is a game that is undergoing a considerable amount of evolution over the last couple of months, and it remains to be seen how it continues to evolve, but I certainly think it's worth keeping an eye on, and I will report back again as things change and develop. Thank you for watching. I hope you found the video interesting, and if you did, please give it a like and a share. If you have not already done so, please give the channel a subscription. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.